Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Planet Scientist. As the golden light of day begins to fade, something magical happens across our planet. The bustling energy of daylight slowly gives way to a gentler rhythm. Birds return to their roosts, their songs becoming softer lullabies. Deer step carefully through twilight meadows, their movements becoming slower, more deliberate. Even the wind seems to whisper more quietly through the leaves. This is the hour when the natural world prepares for one of life's most essential mysteries: sleep. But as we humans settle into our beds, pulling covers close and closing our eyes, what happens to the countless creatures that share our world? Do they dream as we do? Do their minds wander through landscapes of memory and imagination while their bodies rest? Tonight, we embark on a gentle journey through the dream worlds of the natural kingdom. We'll discover how a dolphin sleeps with only half its brain at rest, how birds can sleep while soaring thousands of feet above the ocean, and why elephants might dream of their departed loved ones. So let yourself settle in, breathe deeply, and prepare to explore the peaceful, mysterious world of how animals sleep. For in understanding their rest, we might just find a deeper connection to the natural rhythms that connect all living things. What is sleep? Before we journey into the animal kingdom's bedtime stories, let's pause to understand what sleep truly is. Sleep is not simply the absence of wakefulness. It's an active, essential process that every complex life form has evolved to embrace. Think of sleep as nature's gentle reset button. During these quiet hours, bodies repair themselves, growing new cells, healing small wounds, and strengthening immune systems. It's a time when the day's experiences are carefully sorted and stored, like a librarian organizing books in the quiet hours after closing. Scientists have discovered that sleep occurs in stages, like gentle waves washing over the shore. There's the lighter sleep where we hover just below consciousness, still aware of sounds around us. Then comes deeper sleep, where our bodies do their most important restoration work. And then there's REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, the stage where most vivid dreams occur. During REM, our eyes dance beneath closed lids as if watching invisible movies. Our brains become almost as active as when we're awake, weaving together memories, emotions, and experiences into the tapestries we call dreams. But here's where our journey becomes truly fascinating. While all mammals experience these sleep stages, the animal kingdom has evolved countless creative ways to rest safely while remaining alert to danger. Some animals have developed sleep strategies so unusual they seem almost magical. Sleep, you see, is both universal and uniquely adapted to each creature's way of life. A bat hanging upside down in a cave, a shark that must keep swimming to breathe, a tiny hummingbird that must conserve every precious calorie. Each has found their own perfect way to embrace rest while surviving in their world. Mammals and sleep. Let's begin our exploration with the mammals closest to our hearts, our beloved pets. If you've ever watched a dog sleep, you've witnessed one of nature's most endearing displays of dreaming. Those gentle paw movements, soft whimpers, and twitching whiskers aren't random. They're windows into canine dreams. Scientists believe that when your dog's paws paddle in sleep, she might be chasing that squirrel from yesterday's walk through fields of endless green. Her nose twitches because she's following fascinating scent trails that exist only in dreams. That soft woof might be her dream self calling to a long-lost puppy friend. Cat EM stages, and their dreams might be filled with phantom mice and sun-warmed windowsills. Watch a cat prepare for sleep, and you'll see an ancient ritual. The careful circling, the precise positioning, the gentle kneading with paws, these aren't just habits. They're preparations for entering a world where domestic cats remember their wild heritage. Now let's visit one of nature's most magnificent sleepers, the elephant. These gentle giants need only 3 to 4 hours of sleep each night, but when they do rest, it's a sight to behold. Elephants often sleep standing up, their massive bodies swaying gently like trees in a soft breeze. But for their deepest sleep, they lie down on their sides, looking surprisingly vulnerable and peaceful. Baby elephants sleep nestled against their mothers, and the entire herd creates a protective circle around their most vulnerable members. It's believed that elephants dream, and given their incredible memories, their dreams might be rich with experiences spanning decades. Remembering watering holes from years past, the faces of family members, the feeling of cool mud on a hot day. High above in caves and under bridges, bats demonstrate one of nature's most unusual sleeping positions. Hanging upside down might seem uncomfortable to us, but for bats, it's perfect. This position allows them to drop into flight instantly when they wake, and their special tendon system means they can sleep hanging without any muscular effort. Bats sleep during daylight hours, sometimes for up to 20 hours a day. In winter, some species enter torpor, a state deeper than sleep where their body temperature drops dramatically and their heart rate slows to just a few beats per minute. It's nature's way of helping them survive when food is scarce. In the vast oceans, whales have evolved perhaps the most poetic form of sleep. They float at the surface like living islands, breathing slowly and rhythmically. Sometimes they sleep vertically, hanging in the water column like underwater trees. Sperm whales often sleep in groups, their massive bodies perfectly still, except for the gentle rise and fall of breathing. Because whales are conscious breathers, they must actively choose to surface and breathe. They've developed the ability to sleep with half their brain at a time. While one hemisphere rests, the other remains alert enough to control breathing and watch for danger. It's as if they're living in a permanent state of half wakefulness, half dream. Birds and their sleep secrets. As evening approaches, the bird world transforms into a symphony of settling. Robins find their favorite branches, chickadees fluff their feathers into perfect spheres of warmth, and owls prepare for their night shift. But birds have evolved some of the most remarkable sleep adaptations in the animal kingdom. Imagine being able to sleep with one eye literally open, keeping half your brain awake to watch for predators while the other half rests. This is exactly what many birds do, and it's called unihemispheric sleep. Ducks floating on a pond demonstrate this beautifully. The ducks on the edges of the group keep their outward-facing eye open, standing guard while their flockmates sleep more deeply. But perhaps the most magical sleep story belongs to the frigate bird. These magnificent seabirds can sleep while flying using the same half-brain technique. As they soar thousands of feet above the ocean on thermal currents, half their brain rests while the other half navigates and maintains flight. They become living dreams, sailing through the sky in a state between waking and sleeping. During these aerial naps, frigate birds experience brief moments of REM sleep, lasting just seconds at a time. Imagine dreaming while flying. Their dreams might be filled with endless ocean views and the feeling of wind beneath their wings. Smaller birds face different challenges. A tiny chickadee must conserve every calorie to survive cold nights. So they enter a state called torpor, lowering their body temperature and heart rate dramatically. They become like little feathered jewels, perfectly still, except for the almost imperceptible rise and fall of breathing. Night hunting owls reverse the typical bird schedule, sleeping during the day in tree hollows or dense foliage. Their sleep is deeper than that of day-active birds, and they often sleep with both eyes closed, relying on their exceptional hearing to detect any approaching danger. Birds often sleep standing on one leg, tucking the other up into their warm belly feathers. They turn their heads almost completely around, tucking their their beaks under their wing feathers. This isn't just comfortable, it creates a warm pocket of air around their most vulnerable areas, helping them conserve precious body heat through the long night. How marine animals sleep. The ocean never truly sleeps, and neither do many of its inhabitants, at least not in the way we understand sleep. Dolphins, those intelligent and playful marine mammals, have mastered the art of sleeping while remaining perpetually in motion. Like whales, they've evolved unihemispheric sleep, resting one brain hemisphere while the other stays alert. When dolphins sleep, they swim slowly in circles or float near the surface, taking turns breathing at regular intervals. The sleeping half of their brain might be dreaming of dolphin conversations, playful games with seaweed, or the echolocation patterns that map their underwater world. Meanwhile, the wakeful half guides their body through the gentle motions needed to stay alive. Baby dolphins sleep differently than adults. They don't have unihemispheric sleep yet, so they rest by floating very close to their mothers, who stay alert and protective. Seals and sea lions are the bridge between land and sea, and their sleep reflects this dual nature. On land, they can sleep like terrestrial mammals with normal REM cycles and deep rest. But in the water, they switch to the ocean's rhythm, sleeping with one brain hemisphere while the other guides them to the surface for air. Underwater, sleeping seals often perform what's called bottling, floating vertically with their noses just above or below the surface, their bodies perfectly still, except for the occasional gentle movement to maintain position. They look like living buoys, perfectly balanced between the world of air and water. Perhaps the most heartwarming marine sleep behavior belongs to sea otters. These adorable creatures sleep floating on their backs at the surface, often holding hands with their family members to avoid drifting apart in currents. Mother otters wrap their pups in kelp-like natural blankets, anchoring them safely while they both rest. Sea otters often fold their paws over their chests while sleeping, looking remarkably human-like in their peaceful repose. They might dream of diving for sea urchins, cracking shells on their bellies, or playing in the kelp forests that are their underwater gardens. Sharks present one of the ocean's greatest sleep mysteries. Most sharks must keep swimming to breathe, passing water over their gills continuously. Some species have been observed in what appears to be a rest state, swimming more slowly and showing less response to stimuli, but true sleep remains elusive for these ancient predators. However, some sharks, like nurse sharks, can pump water over their gills while stationary, allowing them to rest on the ocean floor. These bottom-dwelling species might experience something closer to true sleep, though their dreams remain one of the ocean's deepest mysteries. Throughout the coral reefs, fish have developed countless strategies for nighttime rest. Some wedge themselves into coral crevices for protection, others float motionlessly above the reef, and some even create mucus cocoons around themselves for safety. The ocean's bedtime is as diverse as the creatures who call it home. Reptiles, amphibians, and fish. In the quieter corners of the natural world, creatures with ancient lineages have their own relationships with rest. Snakes, those mysterious legless wanderers, do indeed sleep, though their sleep looks quite different from that of mammals or birds. Without eyelids, sleeping snakes can appear to be awake, but their reduced movement and slower breathing reveal their restful state. A sleeping snake might coil in a perfect spiral, tucked under a rock or buried in warm sand. Their dreams, if they have them, might be filled with vibrations felt through the ground, the warmth of sunny rocks, or the memory of successful hunts. Their sleep is lighter than a mammal's, allowing them to respond quickly to changes in temperature or potential threats. Lizards, those sun worshippers of the reptile world, time their sleep carefully with temperature changes. As the day's warmth fades, they seek out the perfect microclimate, perhaps a rock that still holds the day's heat, or a crevice protected from cool night breezes. Some lizards even change color as they sleep, their skin becoming darker to absorb any available warmth. Turtles demonstrate remarkable adaptability in their sleep patterns. Aquatic turtles might rest at the bottom of ponds, slowing their metabolism so dramatically that they can stay submerged for hours without surfacing to breathe. Their sleep is a masterclass in conservation, allowing them to survive in environments where food and oxygen might be scarce. In the amphibian world, frogs and toads have developed fascinating rest strategies. During winter, many species enter a state called brumation, similar to hibernation, but allowing for occasional movement during warmer spells. They might bury themselves in mud at the bottom of ponds or under logs, their heart rate and breathing slowing to barely detectable levels. Tree frogs demonstrate one of nature's most precarious sleep positions, clinging to vertical surfaces throughout the night. Their toe pads are so perfectly adapted that they can sleep hanging upside down from a leaf without falling. Their sleep must be light enough to maintain their grip, yet deep enough to provide necessary restoration. The underwater world reveals its own sleep mysteries. Many fish that are active during the day find protected spots in coral reefs at night, wedging themselves into crevices where predators can't reach them. Some fish even change color while sleeping, their bright daytime patterns fading to more muted nighttime hues. Parrotfish create one of the most remarkable sleep shelters in the animal kingdom, a mucus cocoon that completely surrounds their body. This slimy sleeping bag might look unappealing to us, but it serves as perfect protection from parasites and predators. The fish spends up to an hour each evening creating this transparent cocoon, then sleeps safely inside until morning. Sleeping fish often appear to float motionlessly in the water, their fins making only the slightest movements to maintain position. Their sleep is lighter than that of air-breathing animals, but it serves the same essential purposes: restoration, memory consolidation, and energy conservation. Insects and sleep-like states. In the miniature world of insects, the concept of sleep becomes even more fascinating and mysterious. Honeybees, those tireless workers of the garden, do indeed sleep, though their rest looks quite different from our own. At night, the hive becomes quieter as bees enter a sleep-like state, their antennae drooping and their body temperature dropping slightly. Young bees sleep more than older ones, much like human children need more rest than adults. They might sleep for up to 30 seconds at a time, their tiny bodies becoming completely motionless. During these brief rest periods, their brains might be processing the day's information, the location of the best flowers, the layout of the hive, or the intricate steps of their waggle dance communication. Butterflies and moths have their own evening rituals. As twilight approaches, butterflies seek out protected spots where they can roost, perhaps the underside of a leaf or in a cluster of tall grass. They fold their wings tightly against their bodies and become remarkably still, entering a state that conserves energy while keeping them ready to respond to threats. Some butterflies even roost communally, gathering in groups that provide warmth and safety. Monarch butterflies, during their incredible migrations, might cluster together on trees in the thousands, creating living ornaments of orange and black that sway gently in the evening breeze. Ants, those industrious architects of the insect world, also demonstrate periods of rest. While ant colonies never completely stop all activity, individual ants do take rest periods, especially the younger workers. They might curl up in small groups, their 6 legs tucked under their bodies, their antennae relaxed and still. Dragonflies, those masters of aerial acrobatics, rest by perching on vertical stems or reeds. Their wings spread wide but perfectly still. Their compound eyes, which can detect the slightest movement during the day, remain alert even during rest, ready to spot any approaching predator. Throughout the insect world, rest often means finding the perfect hiding place. Beetles might bury themselves in loose soil, crickets find shelter under rocks or logs, and many insects simply become motionless in plain sight, relying on camouflage rather than concealment. While we can't be certain that insects dream in the way mammals do, their periods of rest serve similar functions: energy conservation, memory consolidation, and physical restoration. In their own tiny way, they too participate in the universal rhythm of rest that connects all living things. Dreams in the animal kingdom. Now we enter perhaps the most mysterious realm of animal sleep, the question of dreams. Do animals dream? And if they do, what magical landscapes might unfold behind their closed eyes? Scientists have discovered that many animals, particularly mammals and birds, show clear signs of experiencing something very much like human dreams. When researchers study sleeping animals using the same equipment used to study human sleep, they find remarkably similar patterns. Animals experience REM sleep, during which their brains become almost as active as when they're awake. Their eyes move rapidly beneath closed lids, their breathing becomes irregular, and their bodies often twitch and move as if responding to dream experiences. Some of the most compelling evidence for animal dreams comes from studies of sleeping rats. Researchers found that rats' brains replay the same patterns of neural activity during sleep that they showed while learning to navigate mazes during the day. It's as if the rats are practicing their routes over and over in their dreams, strengthening the memories that will help them survive. Elephants, with their incredible memories and complex social lives, likely experience rich and detailed dreams. Given their ability to mourn their dead and their strong family bonds, elephant dreams might include reunions with departed loved ones, memories of favorite watering holes, or the feeling of cool mud baths on hot days. Our closest relatives, the primates, show clear signs of dreaming. Sleeping chimpanzees and gorillas often move their hands and arms as if they're interacting with objects or other animals. They might make soft grunting sounds or even what appears to be sign language gestures in their sleep. Their dreams could be filled with social interactions, food gathering, or memories of play. Pet owners often witness the most obvious examples of animal dreams. Dogs that paddle their legs while sleeping, bark softly, or seem to be chasing something invisible are likely experiencing vivid dream sequences. Cats that knead with their paws, purr in their sleep, or make small hunting movements might be dreaming of stalking prey or nursing as kittens. Even marine mammals show signs of dreaming. Dolphins in captivity have been observed making their signature whistles during sleep, perhaps calling to dream companions or narrating their dream adventures. The half-brained sleep of dolphins and whales raises fascinating questions. Do they dream with only half their brain at a time? Do they experience split dreams? Birds too show clear REM sleep patterns, though their REM periods are much shorter than those of mammals. A sleeping bird might briefly sing snatches of song, move its wings as if flying, or turn its head as if watching something invisible. Songbirds might dream of perfect melodies, while raptors might dream of soaring over vast landscapes. While we can never know for certain what animals dream about, the evidence suggests that their sleep serves the same essential functions as our own, processing experiences, consolidating memories, and perhaps providing a safe space for the mind to explore possibilities and practice important behaviors. In their dreams, a wolf might run through endless forests, a whale might swim in oceans without boundaries, and a bird might fly to places it has never seen but somehow remembers. Dreams might be nature's way of giving all creatures a space where anything is possible, where memory and imagination dance together in the theater of sleep. Why sleep matters to all creatures. Sleep is not a luxury in the natural world. It's as essential as food, water, and air. Across all species, from the tiniest insect to the largest whale, sleep serves fundamental purposes that determine not just quality of life, but survival itself. Let's explore why nature has made sleep so universal and so vital. Growth happens most dramatically during sleep. The growth hormones that help young animals develop are released primarily during deep sleep phases. A sleeping puppy is literally growing before our eyes, its bones lengthening, its muscles strengthening, its neural pathways forming the connections that will serve it throughout life. For creatures with complex brains, sleep is when memories transform from temporary impressions into lasting knowledge. A young bird learning its first song practices those notes during sleep, strengthening the neural pathways that will allow it to sing perfectly when spring arrives. A dolphin that discovered a new feeding ground during the day consolidates that precious information during sleep, ensuring it will remember the location when food becomes scarce. Sleep is also when the body's repair systems work most efficiently. Wounds heal faster during sleep, immune systems strengthen their defenses, and toxic waste products are cleared from the brain. This is true for all animals. From the smallest mouse to the largest elephant, sleep time is healing time. In harsh environments, sleep becomes even more critical for survival. Arctic animals that must endure months of extreme cold use sleep to conserve energy when temperatures drop dangerously low. Desert animals that face scorching heat and limited water often sleep through the hottest parts of the day, minimizing their exposure to deadly conditions. Sleep patterns often reflect an animal's position in the food web. Prey animals like rabbits and deer sleep lightly and in short bursts, always ready to flee from predators. Predators like lions and tigers can afford deeper sleep because few threats exist for them. But even apex predators must balance the need for restorative sleep with the need to remain alert. For many animals, sleep patterns change dramatically with the seasons. Bears preparing for hibernation sleep longer and deeper as winter approaches, building up the fat reserves they'll need to survive months without food. Migratory birds alter their sleep patterns before long journeys, sleeping less but more efficiently to prepare for the enormous energy demands of migration. Sleep also serves social functions in many species. Animals that live in groups often synchronize their sleep patterns, ensuring that some members of the group remain alert while others rest. This communal approach to sleep strengthens strengthens social bonds while providing protection for the entire group. Perhaps most remarkably, sleep connects all living things to the fundamental rhythm of our planet. The rotation of Earth creates the cycle of day and night that influences sleep patterns across all species, from the smallest bacterium that becomes less active in darkness to the largest mammals that time their rest with sunsets. Sleep binds all life to the cosmic rhythm of our spinning world. In this way, sleep becomes not just a biological necessity, but a reminder of our connection to all living things. When we close our own eyes at night, we join a universal chorus of creatures entering the restorative embrace of sleep, each in our own way, participating in one of life's most essential and beautiful rituals: cultural and symbolic views of animal sleep. Throughout human history, the sleep of animals has captured our imagination and inspired our stories. Long before scientists could study brainwaves and REM cycles, our ancestors observed the sleeping habits of the creatures around them and wove these observations into myths, legends, and spiritual beliefs that still resonate today. The hibernating bear holds perhaps the most powerful place in human mythology. Many cultures saw the bear's long winter sleep as a kind of death and rebirth, a journey to the spirit world and back. Indigenous peoples of North America often viewed the sleeping bear as a symbol of introspection and healing, believing that during hibernation, bears gained wisdom and spiritual power. Wolves sleeping in packs inspired stories about family bonds and collective dreaming. Some Native American traditions speak of wolf dreams as messages from the spirit world, believing that sleeping wolves could communicate across great distances through their dreams. The image of wolves sleeping peacefully together became a symbol of community strength and shared purpose. Cats, those master sleepers, have been associated with dreams and mystery for thousands of years. Ancient Egyptians believed that cats could travel between the world of the living and the world of the dead during their frequent naps. The cat's ability to appear completely relaxed while remaining alert to danger made them symbols of wisdom and hidden knowledge. In many cultures, animal sleep patterns were seen as guides for human behavior. The early rising of roosters taught the value of starting the day with purpose. The communal sleeping of birds in flocks inspired ideas about community and cooperation. The patient hibernation of animals through winter became a metaphor for endurance and the importance of rest during difficult times. Australian Aboriginal cultures developed perhaps the most elaborate spiritual connection to animal dreams through their concept of the dream time. In these traditions, sleeping animals weren't just resting, they were participating in the ongoing creation of the world, their dreams helping to maintain the spiritual landscape that connects all living things. Even in our modern world, sleeping animals continue to represent peace, innocence, and connection to nature. The image of a sleeping fawn curled in forest grass, a cat napping in a sunbeam, or a dog dreaming by a fireplace evokes feelings of contentment and security that transcend cultural boundaries. These cultural stories remind us that human fascination with animal sleep stems from something deeper than scientific curiosity. In watching animals sleep, we recognize our own need for rest, our own vulnerability, and our own participation in the ancient rhythms that govern all life on Earth. peaceful conclusion. As our journey through the dream worlds of the natural kingdom draws to a close, the sun has set on our imaginary travels. Across the planet, countless creatures are settling into their own versions of sleep, each finding rest in their own perfect way. The elephant is swaying gently in standing sleep, her dreams perhaps filled with the wisdom of decades. The dolphin swims in slow circles, half her brain exploring underwater dreamscapes, while the other half guides her through the gentle currents. The tiny bat hangs peacefully in his cave, his heart rate slowed to almost nothing as he conserves energy for tomorrow's flight. Closer to home, the family dog has found his favorite sleeping spot, his paws already beginning to paddle through dream adventures. The cat has curled into a perfect circle of fur, purring softly as she drifts into feline dreams. In the garden, bees cluster together in their hive, their day's work of collecting nectar complete. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of the sky, from desert sands to forest floors, the great rhythm of sleep connects all living things. Each creature, in its own unique way, participates in this universal need for rest, restoration, and dreams. And now, as you prepare for your own journey into sleep, remember that you're not alone. You're joining a magnificent chorus of dreamers, some hanging upside down in caves, others floating in gentle ocean currents, still others nestled in warm burrows beneath the earth. The frigate bird soars through her aerial dreams thousands of feet above the waves. The sea otter floats peacefully on his back, paws folded over his chest. The tiny hummingbird has slowed her racing heart to conserve every precious calorie through the night. In this moment, as you close your eyes and let your breathing slow, you become part of something ancient and beautiful, the nightly rhythm that has connected all living things since life first appeared on Earth. Your dreams might carry you to places you've never been, just as the wolf dreams of running through endless forests and the whale dreams of swimming in boundless seas. Rest well, knowing that across our shared planet, millions of creatures are dreaming alongside you. In sleep, we all return to the same peaceful place, a world where time moves slowly, where healing happens naturally, and where the gentle rhythm of breath connects every living heart. Sweet dreams, fellow traveler in the magnificent community of sleepers. Until we meet again in the waking world, may your rest be as peaceful as the elephant's gentle sway, as restorative as the bear's long hibernation, and as full of wonder as the dolphin's half-waking dreams. Thank you, my listener, for spending this quiet moment with me. Until next time, sleep well and stay curious.